Hi everyone, welcome to Quiz Your Candidates for VP Warrington. I'm Adam, the chair. I'm the current VP Shrewsbury. I'm just going to introduce Sam as the current VP Warrington who is rerunning. Sam, I understand you have a speech prepared to introduce yourself?
Yep, so I have a quick speech. So as Adam said, my name is Sam Derbyshire. I'm the current VP Warrington and I'm rerunning for VP Warrington for a second year. Just a quick brief about myself. So I was a student at Warrington campus for 3 years. I studied coaching and sport development. And after that, I quite enjoyed the campus and I felt there was a lot to improve the campus, hence why I ran for the first year. So the reason why I'm running for a second year is that, so I'm all about the well-being of students and mental health in students will always be a priority for me personally. And I want to ensure that all students will feel comfortable at all times. And I want to make sure that they have someone to talk to if they're feeling uncomfortable. From experience, I know how hard it can be for residential students, especially if you're first starting at university, being in accommodation, not particularly knowing anyone you're living with, and so on. I want students to feel a sense of homeliness at Warrington campus, ensuring that they're feeling comfortable at all times within their new environment. I also know how frustrating it can be for commuting students, especially first-year students who are unsure about how everything works in relation to the university. So I'm looking to improve the communication between the university and the students, so students are in the loop at all times. This also goes for postgraduate students, mature and international students. Generally, I know Warrington campus in and out. I am looking to make the campus a better place for everyone and everyone involved with it. This includes to support the growth of societies, including Warrington Event Society and the newly Cultural Awareness Society, an increase in activities throughout the day, and bringing back social activities in the evening at Bar 2010. There will be a great sense of happiness and inclusion back at this campus if you vote for me. Stick with Sam again.
Brilliant, Sam. So we've got a couple of questions that have been sent in over the last week by our students. There are also any attendees, you can ask questions live and they can be asked at the end. So the first question is, let me just get this up. First question is, why are you running for this role?
So the reason I'm running for this role is because I feel there's a lot to be done within this campus, which can improve the engagement and the sustainability of Warrington campus in general. So this includes, accommodation, the cafeteria, the bar, the library. I think all the facilities can be improved. And obviously, I am aware that the Warrington campus is moving. So I'm also looking to support the Warrington move and support students who may have any questions regarding the move throughout, because I know it will be a difficult time for the students, as well as the members of staff. So, I'm just to get that sense of comfortability throughout this whole entire process. And I feel like I'm the right person to do that.
Brilliant. One of the other questions put in was, where do you see the union next year, and if you are elected, how do you plan on helping them get there?
So that's a good question. So next year I see the union taking steps towards becoming a one big community. So this involves satellite campuses such as Warrington, Shrewsbury, linking more with Parkgate, Kingsway, Thornton, etc. This would include a sense of visibility on respective campuses, not just including union on tour. This is more in general. Furthermore, this will include more face-to-face activities at Warrington campus post-COVID to bring that sense of university life and happiness back to Warrington campus. And I also believe that working alongside VP activities, whoever that may be, we don't know, this will be a must, ensuring that any activities going on in the Warrington campus will be replicated at other campuses, so all students feel involved. And this will be vice versa. So for example, Parkgate, if there's an activity in Parkgate, I would like that to be replicated at Warrington campus, Shrewsbury, University Centre, Shrewsbury, Kingsway, etc.
I want to remind all attendees, keep pushing the questions. We'll assess them and then ask them some of them at the end. So the next question is, Sam, what do you wish you could have possibly done differently this year?
Sorry, could you repeat that question?
Sorry. So this last year has been really tough. What do you wish you could have potentially done differently?
Does this include post-COVID or during the current circumstances?
Generally this year, if you were to redo this year, what do you wish you would have done differently?
I wish I would have been more fun with virtual activities, as although that I organised some, such as the CSU Campus Sunday Quiz. I also helped out with Among Us gaming events. I feel like there could have been a lot more from my perspective to improve the engagement virtually, as in-person activities were unfortunately scrapped in October time. I would have also liked to being able to, be around and out on campus during lecture time, so I could have seen a lot more students, such as the commuting students. I know there's a lot of commuting students at Warrington. So yeah, just being more visible, I would have been a lot more visible to all students.
Another question we have that was previously sent in is, what would you think your greatest strength is?
So I think my greatest strength is I am a very approachable and friendly person. I'm always happy to speak to students, speak to members of staff, speak to anyone if they're up for a conversation. This could be about anything. It doesn't have to be university related. I'm happy to have a conversation. And yeah, I feel like that sense of friendliness is something which you need when you're being elected as a student officer role, because students will look up to you to a certain aspect, and they will hope that you're approachable, if that makes sense. And I feel like I'm a very approachable person.
No, definitely. So one of the other questions was, how do you hope to better represent postgrad students and build your relationship with them?
So this is a good question, actually. So I actually sat a postgrad forum a couple of weeks ago, answering questions with the postgraduate student rep, which is Dale. People may not have met him, but if you have, he's a really approachable person to speak to. And yeah, I think postgraduate students are very important, and to better the communication between myself and postgraduate students, is constantly checking up on them, going into their lectures, speaking to them and say, the support's available here, if you want. I'm always open for a conversation. And if you have any issues, feel free to drop me an email. Do not hesitate, because my email will always be open to any issues. And I've spoke to a few postgraduate students. I've asked them how their master's degree and how their course is going, and I'm always looking to get feedback, whatever the student may be studying. So it doesn't even have to be a Warrington campus postgrad degree. It can be, it can be on Parkgate, it can be on Kingsway, Thornton. I'm always up for conversation and feedback from the postgrad students looking to improve their experience.
Brilliant. One of the questions was, how do you plan on supporting the Warrington move and the students throughout this time?
So in regards to the Warrington move, it's obviously it came as a shock to many students, and myself, but in relation to supporting that, I've been in talks with head of communications, and we're looking to do a Q&A for Warrington students regarding the move. So if they have any questions, we are happy to answer them. And then throughout the next academic year, it's going to be very difficult for some students. So, constant support, that I'm there. Like, if you have any questions, I'm really happy. I'm happy to answer them no matter what the question is, no matter how daft you think you may sound. Don't worry. It's going to be a difficult time in the next academic year, but with the constant support and from me, in relation to the Students' Union and all of the university staff, students will be comfortable. They will feel comfortable with the move. I'll make sure of that. I'll make sure no students are feeling a bit nervous and upset regarding what this might mean for their course, what this might mean for accommodation, etc. I'll be happy to help.
One of the questions that's just come through is if you were to run for a different position, which position would you run for?
That's a good question. That's a good question. If I was to run for a different position, it would probably be VP activities, because I feel societies make a union what it is. With the constant, I'm going to say the word again, engagement. I feel like it's a very good question. It's a very good question. I never thought of this, but yeah, I think VP activities, because I would be happy to support societies. I've supported societies on Warrington campus this year, and taking on the challenge of societies at other campuses would be very interesting. So I think, yeah, definitely VP activities.
Brilliant. That's really, really interesting. So we're going to start with the live audience questions now, Sam. So the first one is, what is your greatest achievement from this year?
My greatest achievement from this year, I think the continuous support which I've given to students throughout the COVID year, making sure that every student is okay, whether they're residential, commuting, and so on. I know how difficult it has been of the year for everyone involved, and I think me constantly checking up on people is one of the big things which I've done this year, because sometimes students will need someone to speak to, someone who's there for them at all times, and I feel like that me being there for them is something which I'm really proud of, and I'm looking to push towards this for the next academic year.
Brilliant. Another one of these questions has been, do you agree with the Warrington move?
Ooh, very good question. I think, with no offence to the campus as it is, I think it's outdated. So I think the Warrington move will be a very good opportunity for everyone involved. I'm saying this because it's moving to the town centre, so good things coming from this. You'll be around local businesses. You'll also be, the clothes shops are down the road. You don't have to get a taxi from Padgate campus if you want to go in a clothes shop or a shop in general, because Golden Square will be around the corner. You have restaurants around, and literally it's in one big space. So it'd be good to get that university student life within the town centre, not just on the outskirts of town, because a university in a small town like Warrington is big, and this move will make it bigger. So yeah, I do agree with the Warrington move. I think it's a very promising project.
No, definitely. It seems to be a really, really interesting and promising project. One of the questions was, with engagement low, how would you boost and support this at Warrington and increase campus-specific societies?
So engagement's been low on this campus. I think the pandemic has took its toll massively with the engagement. You can't expect students, to have their online lectures on Teams for 5 or 6 hours a day, and then to keep the laptops on to do an activity in the evening. They'll be too screen fatigued, and I think brighter days are ahead. It's looking promising, and come September, face-to-face activities will come back, which will bring a sense of happiness back and a bigger sense of engagement at students within Warrington campus. And in regards to the campus-specific societies, I will look to support Warrington Event Society. So if they want to, do an activity during the day, I'll be happy to support that and help them out if they need the help. And also, I think it's good to note that Freshers Fair will also hopefully return in September. By the way we're going, and I think that will also boost the amount of people participating and signing up for societies and sports teams within Warrington campus. I know sports has been difficult in recent years on Warrington campus, but it will depend on the intake as well. I'd say it will depend on the intake, because obviously Warrington is slowly changing to professional courses, so such as policing, nursing, social work, etc. So it will definitely depend on what the intake will be like come September.
Oh, that's a really good answer. So one of the other questions that have come through is, what has been your favourite thing so far about being VP Warrington?
I think it's really good. My favourite thing would be speaking to, university staff, not particularly student union staff, but university staff. Speaking of the cafeteria, the library, what's going on regarding lecturers, and also speaking with the university hospitality department regarding the bar. I think it's been really exciting to be involved within the progress which is being made across Warrington campus, and it's really good to be part of that, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes sense. Conversely to that, what has been your greatest challenge?
I think greatest challenge would definitely be the continuous engagement throughout the year. Obviously, Warrington's a small campus, and overcoming that, I've looked at timetables and when commuter students are in and when lecturers are in, and I've looked to organise activities around that time to try and improve the engagement. Like I've gone to nursing lecturers and said, "Oh, we're doing this activity. Would you like to come get involved?" So I think that has been the biggest challenge this year under the circumstances as well.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute there for a second. With Warrington moving to be a predominantly commuter / mature student campus, how are you going to support this, as there are little support for these students at Warrington currently?
Could you repeat the last bit again? Sorry.
Yeah. How are you going to support these students, as there is little support for these students currently?
So in regards to the campus move being a commuter friendly sort of move, the reason that the location has looked to get it closer to the train station. So for normally, if you were commuting, say, from Manchester or Liverpool to get to Warrington campus, you'd have to take 2 trains. This is if you can't drive. You'd have to take 2 trains. You get a train to Birchwood, and then you'd have to get another train from Birchwood. And I think this move is looking to overcome that in a way. So I can't remember what the station is called. I think it's Padgate Station is a 2 or 3 minute walk away from where the new Warrington move will be. So I think this will definitely look to support community students who are travelling from a far location, as there's many stoppages, train stoppages going to that station particularly, and I think it also saves students from getting a taxi to from that station to the campus as well. So it helps them save taxi fare money, something else. So I think that will be massive to see how it will unfold next year.
I agree, 100%. I agree. There's needs to be support for those students. But could you expand further on just the general support that these students need to receive as in terms of academic support as well as those kind of social things?
Yeah. So yeah, in regards to academic support, I think it's an ongoing debate regarding PATs and how many students a PAT has. So I think we're looking to balance the amount of students for one PAT, because you can't expect a PAT to have 40 students and the other ones have 3 or 4. So I think that does go back to PAT support. So I have a feeling that many community students will not know who their PAT is. So I think them being community students being told who their PAT is will be a first step towards increasing the support for the community students. And this will involve obviously a plan regarding PATs and how we're going to overcome the barrier of one PAT having 40 students, either PAT having 1 or 2 students. I think it's all about balancing it out. So PATs can make right time for these students, especially community students, as they won't be on campus at all times.
No, thank you for that answer, Sam. That was really, really interesting. You've mentioned previously that you've supported societies. What actions have you taken specifically to support their development throughout this year?
So, for example, I have spoken with the president of the Event Society. Now, this was going back to October time before we were put into a second lockdown. I had a chat with the president of the Event Society, and it was also included Freshers Week. I said, right, you could, what give you some ideas. What do you want to do? They gave ideas. I said, well, yeah, I could speak with people higher up than me, who, like, if this is possible. For example, they want to do a bingo night at the bar, and they also want to do a Halloween sort of party on the piazza. And obviously, these unfortunately got cancelled due to the new restrictions coming into place ever so suddenly. But I think that's one thing which I've looked to do. I've looked to help Event Society, and in regards to Cultural Awareness Society, which is a newly found society, I know the president of that society is. Pardon me. Sorry. The president of that society is looking to complete an empowerment project. So I've shared on social media their social media in regards to the activities and events which they're doing. And I've also spoken to Jill, who works in the chaplaincy at Warrington campus, regarding international societies and what help international students may need. And Jill's also been in works with creating an Islamic society as well. So that's something which me and Jill have worked together, looking to promote and improve throughout the year.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant, Sam. This one is your toughest question, and I really hope you answer correctly. Who is your favorite officer?
Oh God! Oh my goodness! Who asked that?
No idea. It came through the live Q&A, but I would answer carefully, and I would justify your answer.
Oh, this year's officer team has been brilliant as well. This isn't fair. This is a very unfair question. I can't say I like someone particularly more than the other, but I would say, goodness me, separate officers I've worked with. I've worked with Adam in regards to satellite campuses of Shrewsbury. I'm not just saying that because he's here. I've also worked with Daniel in regards to societies and what activities we can put across campuses. Jack, hats off to him. He's discussed the safety net policy with me when Warrington students were asking, and then Helena's a very helpful individual, and she does quite a lot. But in regards to the favourite, I'm not going to answer that, or do I have to?
You kind of have to.
Goodness, I'm going to say Daniel. Sorry, Adam.
I'm so hurt. That hurt me. Wow. Okay, fine. That's shook me to my core, Sam. Another question that's just come through is, how are you finding the lateral system that the university has rolled out?
In regards to the lateral flow system, I think it's very helpful, and it's pushing towards us becoming a COVID-free campus. So I've gone around telling students to get tested if they're on campus, as it's massively important. If you're on campus and you want to use, 24/7 library, you need to get tested twice a week. I've been getting tested twice a week. I got tested yesterday. I'm getting tested Thursday. So I think it's working, and it will push towards the right direction of becoming a COVID-free, post-COVID happy campus again. Seems to be a problem with the mute button. Yeah, I thought so.
Not unmuting me. Hello?
You're muted now.
Brilliant. So I don't know what happened there.
You've muted yourself again. Yeah, technical difficulties. Oh, there we go.
There we go. So, and now I've got 30 notifications coming through. Do you think that the COVID guidelines are clear and work for the Warrington students?
In regards to the COVID guidelines, I think they do work for Warrington students, and it's also for the safety of everyone involved. So, for example, that getting proof of a negative test if you want to study in 24/7 is for the safety of other students who may have shown a negative test and they're in the library. For that, I think what could be done to better this is, in regards, you could get your lecturers speaking about the COVID guidelines pre-lectures. So before before lecturers start undergoing their lecture, they can discuss the COVID guidelines and update them if there is an update within the guidelines. But yeah, I do think in general the guidelines are for the safety, and I think they do work well.
Brilliant, Sam. Thank you very, very much. Those were some tough questions in there. Thank you to everybody who's asked the questions live and anybody who submitted before the event. Sam, do you have any final words for your voters?
Yeah, I'll just say if any of the people who are campaigning watching this, well done. You've all completed some brilliant campaigns. I've seen it happen, and I think it's amazing. And good luck to everyone. And for everyone else watching, I will make sure that the Warrington campus will be a happy campus again come September. And yeah, stick with Sam again. Vote for me.
Brilliant, Sam. Thanks everybody so much for watching. VP Education starts soon. Stick around. Thank you, guys.